sure it fucks you up in some ways too, man. The whole time I was playing that song, I was thinking about Dimebag. I was thinking about touring with Pantera twice and all the fucking drinking way too much whiskey, man. Holy shit. So many shots. So it was just endless shots, and he was such a fun motherfucker. I'll tell you what, did I ever tell you the story about when he broke my guitar? Yeah, he broke my guitar one night. So we played Kalamazoo, Michigan, and he gets shit-faced drunk after the show. I mean, it was a good time for a while. Him and his guitar tech lady are coming up. They've got a gallon of Seagrams, and they're just walking up behind people and pulling their heads back and pouring Seagrams into their mouth and shaking their heads. And it was a good time for a while. And after a while, I was like, I gotta go to bed. The next show was in Detroit. It was a huge show. 12,000 people, sold out. Biggest show of the tour. I wake up at about 5 a.m. and I look out the window, and Dimebag is still outside drinking with just like 2 people, and he's standing on top of a Volkswagen Bug, completely stripped down to his underwear and his Chuck Taylor, just doing backflops on the roof of this fucking Volkswagen Bug. Anyway, I wake up the next day, I go to bed, I come up, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm walking off the bus. And as I'm walking off, so is Dimebag. And I'm like, hey man, how's it going? And he's just like, He hasn't stopped drinking. He's been drinking for like 20 hours straight now. He's fucking wasted. And everybody's like, I walk in and all the Pantera crew comes up to me and they're like, don't give Dimebag a drink or you're kicked off the fucking tour. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just hanging here. Anyway, so the day goes on. He somehow finds alcohol. Are you pulling up a Dimebag shirt? Yeah. I can't see what that says, but if that's a Dimebag shirt, right on. Anyway, suffice to say, he goes out and Coal Chamber is the opening band, and he comes out. Woo! You like that? Coal Chamber's the opening band. And he goes out and he walks up on stage while Coal Chamber playing, and he just starts air guitaring. And Des looks at him, he's like, oh hey everybody, it's Dimebag Daryl. And the whole crowd, of course, goes crazy. Crowd goes crazy. And then he comes over to my side of the stage. And he starts looking at my guitar that's in my rack. And he kind of gives me this like cross-eyed look, and he goes and he puts my guitar on. The guitar's not plugged in, and he just walks back out on stage and he starts air guitaring with Coal Chamber, just going for it, man. Des is like, oh hey, it's Dimebag Daryl again. And he sits there at the end of the song, and he just takes my guitar and he goes, and he just smashes on the ground. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm pissed, man. I got 2 guitars. He broke one of them, and then he walks off the other side. I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna play the show. Anyway, this motherfucker comes out, plays a flawless show, which if I never would have seen it with my own eyes, I never would have believed it because he was so hammered. Next day he wakes up, super apologized. I'm like, hey man, you remember what you did last night? Do you remember? He's like, refresh my memory. He broke my guitar, and he's like, oh fuck, he gives me like $500. He's like, I'm sorry man. Comes out, and a couple of days later, he gives me a guitar on stage in Chicago. One of his dime bolts, the dime bolt, the blue, just come out with this. And I tell you what, man, you know, those are the stories that I remember when I think about Dimebag. All those crazy moments. I don't think about Columbus, Ohio, man, you know. I think about those moments. You know, I think about his smile. I think about doing shots with that man. I think about how much he loved Columbus, Ohio, and how much he loved Ohio, because we did like 7 shows in Ohio. So I tell you what, man, you know, it always comes back to music, right? It always comes back to music. The reason that Dimebag was such an amazing performer, guitar player, is because he was a die-hard music fan. Van Halen was his favorite fucking band of all time. He was like, if you watch Van Halen, you'll see God. You know, like, and that's what it's about, man. That's why we're here. We're not here standing on this stage because this is the cool thing to do. No, man, the 4 of us need to do this. We need to get all of this shit out of us. I tell you, man.
The darkness within.
When I look out into everybody's eyes, I can see the same thing, man. Now, you're not here because it's the cool place to be. You're here on a cold-ass, rainy Sunday night because somewhere along your life, music came and it filled this hole inside of you. Filled this hole, and nothing else would, man. Then nothing else would. So tell you what, if you know the words to this next song,
I do.
Relate to what I'm talking about right now.
I do.
I want you to feel free to sing the lyrics as loud as you want to, Columbus. Be louder than me if you want to, I don't give a fuck. You're at Machine Head Show, Ohio. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So if you could do me a favor and get your flashlights out and hold them way, way up in the sky, everybody. Get your flashlights out and your cameras. For all of you who have a little bit of darkness in you. Ladies and gentlemen, this song is called Darkness Within.
Yes.
In this darkness that reigns, depression heavy in its way. Oh, my body aches for me. And sing it's finally you are free. The songs of nothing evermore. Know the old pictures once more. I see the damage that I've done. In search for redemption, but I am just a broken man. Soul goes out to understand how the man that shadows me. Oh, warmest bridge I've been need. I scream out loud, the skies above. A shoulder not so far from grace. A single in your mind is praise. Oh, even